Hey guys, good evening. This is Yoderpo speaking, and unfortunately, while we're waiting for almost an hour, especially with this post-production procedure, of course, our programming might get delayed once again, especially that I'm having a hard time, especially with this situation that I'm facing right now in this post Valentine's season, wherein as we are about to close the February and while waiting for our post-production to go on 100% in order for us to play it on our playback, and we are still waiting at around 82%, and apologies for delays that we have incurred, especially that we are facing right now since I have an ongoing boards review. And by the way, speaking of boards, this March, next month, or this March would be a boards related topic, one of topic that I'm going to discuss, wherein some of you might pass or some of you might fail, particularly with this board examination situation that I've been facing right now. And this is where the Sweethearts Corner needs to have an early conclusion instead of the 7 episodes that we have initially planned. A 5. The 5th one will be the last episode. And it's now 18:57. We are about to have the next program. So see you right there, sweethearts. And we are going live on DP24 General TV. So please stay tuned. You're watching DP24 General TV from the city of Las Marinas, home of the Papao Festival. Sweethearts Corner is coming up on DP24 General TV.
This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance
And now, we are live on DP24 Channel TV. And this is your host speaking right from the studio. And of course, we are experiencing several delays that we have been experiencing. And we apologize for those delays that we have yet to foresee rather. And it's beyond our control. And of course, the ongoing board examination situation that is going on. And yes, what key takeaways that we have learned, especially Valentine's season. So first things first, this is hereby live and pre-recorded as well in order to assure of the highest quality possible. And now, as we are about to close this Valentine's 2022, of course, we have to reflect on what's happening right here from our base. Especially, this is an exclusive portion and it's not meant to be rebroadcasted into another channel without authorization. And of course, speaking from experience wherein I have conceptualized this episode, and of course, due to delays in the post-production, I have decided already to split into these two parts. The first part in which you're watching right now, wherein I have learned something that in this Valentine's 2023, I've tried my best to do my shot, but something's impossible, especially that I've been considering for the board examination review, and right now there are some struggles that I have been going on into time wherein sometimes there are some sort of problems that I've been facing lately wherein there is a possibility of a cost-cutting measure. This leaves me no choice but to have this second last episode. And the last episode will be next week. Of course, this has left me no choice but to conclude this Sweetheart's Corner Season 1 and making it a hiatus for the meantime in order for me to concentrate on the board examination review, and I have the upcoming boards examination. Then and over again, I have experienced the two single sequence manual the last 2 weeks ago. And of course, what I have found it surprising is that matchmaking service have gone wild, and then the instructor Sir Bard have instructed me to, hit the heart shape into the corner of the screen. And of course, this led me into much, but he failed late. For in fact, I have a board or ongoing board examination review and not ready to be implemented. And I regret that decision that day on not being able to make it. Where I should have a supposed state the match or matchmate. Hopefully sooner or later after the board examination, course I have been applying for, I have been going into some sort of application for the board examination property saver. Then and again, there is an ongoing situation that warrants me to have some sort of a final decision of the episode. But wait, before we end this part one, peace at home better together will be the next program at around 2000 Philippines Standard Time. And then of course, I'll let this StreamYard open in order not to crash. And of course, hopefully, the browser that I was operating is the Edge. And what apologies for some sort of background noise here of the dogs barking at this location. Of course, reality of the either work from home or stream from home when I have yet to find a suitable studio location, particularly for this DP24 Media that I was about. And then of course, there is a need for me to recognize on what could it be the future potential that I was about to make. So far so good. It's still at 85% for the post-production. And of course, I'll be having some sort of another post-production procedure at the dawn times. And yes, speaking of the key takeaways for this Valentine's 2023, that I got inspired, and of course, there is a way for me to love and to love, especially from the recovery brought by the heartbreaking rejection that I have endured. But lo and behold, one of our ka-feaster here from Feast Das Maingas have told me about this one. Especially when dealing with these rejections, it's actually God's plan to redirect me to a better perspective. A better perspective. And yes, it's a saving grace that I should be more glad. Especially, you know, at the discernment times that I find it more difficult, and of course, not about what we have wanted to do. But of course, we have to discern about our future. And of course, I have received an anonymous DM. Of course, surely it's from the Instagram. And she says, in verbatim, and it says like this: take time to love yourself as well. Feedbacks from them, if any is available, are awesome. So you know what you could do better the next time you meet someone new. Though it's not easy to immediately forget them. But know that they aren't the only person you will meet. Life is so much more than entering the relationship. And that's the key lesson that I have been learned myself, speaking from my personal experience, wherein last 8th of January, I got so heartbroken, being rejected, especially on what I have received, especially with my heart pounding over and over for on I don't know what to do next. And due to my nervousness, I have rushed into the church. The one is in Carmona, Pinyan border, and one is in our home parish, the Good Shepherd Parish, or in our vernacular, ang parokya ng ang mabuting pastol. 19:14 or 7:14 in the evening, and of course, this is the Sweet Arts Corner on DP24 Genova TV, live and exclusive. Of course, with such challenges that I have been going through, broken hearted, from being rejected, or some of you might call it busted. Of course, I have to move on. With the advent of the technology, that one of the science-based dating coach, none other than Coach V herself, have mentioned this in the FIST Conference 2022 Modern Dating Masterclass, that there's a dating app, there's a singles event, especially here in Mega Manila, particularly based in Taguig City, and another one in Metro Cebu, preferably Cebu City, and other areas that would potentially meet your partner. And of course, compared to the last one, or the former, the then dating style would be more like of bumping into each other physically, and then boom, there's love already, or there's a spark. And at this time, if we're going to reflect on what we have to do next, right after this Valentine's 2023 we're in, I'm still single, but of course, having a passion to move forward instead of being depressed or anxious on what to do next. And by the way, here's the warning to our fellow sweethearts, especially if you're either on single, or being single rather, or being in a relationship with your special someone, especially if you're on a highway. Oh my goodness me, there's something wrong. Last time in Palapala we're in, several individuals got caught misbehaving once again, jaywalking in the highway itself, wherein there's no people allowed on the highway pavement, and instead walk into the sidewalk for the safety purpose. But however, as time passes by, two wrong-way drivers have been averted, one wrong-way cyclist have been saved, and of course, those two wrong-way drivers on a motorcycle have been stopped. One is in front of the constable, but luckily, he got spared from the ticket that is being about to be issued, citing for violating the LTO DOTR Joint Administrative Order. Of course, the last time I have visited the university, and I have missed the university so much that I have been trying to get the alumni ID, but it got failed. Of course, we might need to check from time, and of course, due to confidentiality of the information, I'm not going into more detail. And as such, there's a need for me to, you know, go to most favorite part of being an engineering graduate, the engineering building. But unfortunately, there are some sort of confusions going on for some students and say that they have gone into a restricted floor in which it is still closed, and I have notified immediately the university security personnel and even to one of the program director for civil engineering course regarding the safety issue on the building that has been found. And if you are wondering why I'm speaking instead of the tape episode, of course, you know what? I'm sorry that there is a production, post-production delay that it have done beyond our control. And as a compensation, two part is needed to be launched. The one where I'm speaking in front of you. And by the way, this has been inspired by a series of blabbering episodes that I have been experienced through the previous DP in Focus live session at the height of the pandemic. And of course, you know what? It has been inspired by one of the most watched vidcaster or video podcaster, Sister Joyce Spring Trevino. Especially, coming from her experience wherein she could have found herself difficult to fall asleep. And of course, there is a need for me to have a reflection actually. It's not about the special someone, but of course, it's about ourselves that needs a self-love. And by the way, thank you so very much, Coach V, for reminding me all over the online workshop that I have trialed on the attendance, especially, that there is a need for a self-love first. But before I head into this further down the story time coming from yours truly, we will be having some sort of commercial breaks here or a trailer breaks. So keep it locked here on our DP24 TV. And for those who are watching through StreamYard, you might see the feast at home related infomercials. We're back here on DP24 TV live. And of course, this is your Durgo speaking once again. And we're still waiting for the post-production to be done already on or before 8. And of course, it's now 19:29 Philippine Standard Time. And yes, with the Valentine's Day related key takeaways, of course, I have moved on already. And you know what? there's something that needs to improve for me, particularly with the difficulty in the concentration that I have been experiencing. You know what? I have sometimes have some shares of failures that what I can't ever imagine about, especially when dealing with the ladies that I have met before. I have difficulty in obtaining some sort of, you know, communication styles that I have ever wished to have if I if this would be not for some sort of a disability that I have been experiencing. But of course, I'm very thankful that I have been going through, especially that one day, sooner or later, I might build something that would be more helpful for the humanity, particularly in addressing the signal issues here, especially in my beloved city, wherein there is a need already for a single common tower that would ever transmit the clearest signal from the highest elevated portion. But then and again, there's a need for me to re-evaluate and reassess, especially that being a certified safety officer would mean for a certification and not a license, especially some of the construction areas requires a higher training, believe it or not. That's why I have to share this experience from my heart wherein in 2 days of online training instead of one. And of course, you know what? There's a need for me to re-evaluate and reassess on what would it be much safer than before. And for those who are watching all over via StreamYard, you might notice that the screen size has been shrink. Of course, we need to address some sort of limitations that we have been currently experiencing, especially with this, you know, screen resolution not suitable for some of our audiences to have some sort of, you know, a full screen with the watermark on the upper right part. And it's a no good for some broadcasters actually. Well, it's because the quality matters, and likewise, there's a need for a better viewing experience for some viewers. And likewise, if you're watching all of our standard definition version, which is at 360p, you might get into some sort of pixelation instead of the actual display that is being appeared on our screen. And of course, there's hope wherein 94% gets completed. And of course, don't forget to hit the like, follow, and subscribe on our DP24 General TV YouTube channel and DP24 Radio 1 Spotify channel. And of course, don't forget to hit the bell button so that you could be more updated when the next program comes. And at around 2000, please at home better together comments. Of course, we will have to optimize the screen usage in order to minimize the effect on the watermark coming from the StreamYard, in which it's our ally actually to have this streaming partner, both OBS and StreamYard. They're both useful for our convenience. But sooner or later, time goes right, then of course, I might actually have a one to love already. And let me read the remainder of this anonymous message once again, and it says like this: you will eventually find the one who feels the same way about you. And of course, here's the advice: just be more patient, more laughing, and more caring. And take time to know yourself, or ourselves as well, in order not only to discern that if you're a type or the type that they are looking or seeking for a date or settle with. And of course, it's a vice versa. And don't force these things out. Because if you force it, they would never be happy. And now we are bound to the next program, which is the Feast at Home Better Together. Of course, we are heading towards the 100% completion for the post-production. I'm going to play first the advice from Sis Ajah and brother or engineer JM with regards to the relationship advice. But here's a little bit of disclaimer. They have mentioned 1 month on the tape portion. Of course, as of this broadcast, they are now officially 2 months into a loving relationship. So congrats to our fellow sweethearts, Engineer JM and Sister Ajah, and of course, Brother Keanu and Sister Grisel. Congrats on your engagement that made it further into a marriage and having a family as well. And by the way, are you so excited to see these stories filling up in our news feeds wherein even the Singles Events Manila, excuse me, Singles Events Manila have released its news regarding the love story of these two individuals that got married into a singles events and got married, a church wedding. Of course, they have brought us, especially to our fellow, to all members of Singles Events Manila, into the altar. And guess what? The marriage must be more beautiful that God have designed. Now, and of course, with the advice, we have to pray, we have to reflect, and we have to believe that at this time of the Lenten season, we should have a better way for us to spend more time towards better disposition. Unfortunately, our phone got crashed due to overheating and we have lost review portion or monitoring portion for the phone due to the overheating that has been occurred. But anyways, don't you worry because this live is safe and I'll going to play back the advice with to our fellow sweethearts here on DP24 Genoa TV right after the short break because it's almost complete. And now, our post-production is about to have a 1% completion towards the completion. 1947 and we'll have a break.
Mark. Alright, to our fellow sweethearts, don't know kung tama na ba na magsalita kami or magbigay kami ng advice para sa inyo kasi baka mas matagal pa kayo sa amin. Pero yun lang, siguro, huwag niyo lang din kakalimutan yung prayer time niyo together kasi in that way, you're keeping the Lord to the center of your relationship. Always pray for each other, masaya man, malungkot man, laging kasama pa rin yung Panginoon sa panalangin. Yun lang naman, laging mag-forgive kung hindi may hindi pagkakaunawaan. Medyo problema ko yan kapag naiinis ako kay Kakay, mas kasi yung pasensya ko. Pero ang si Kakay lagi niya sinasabi sa akin na ayaw na kami nagkakainisan na hanggang kinabukasan. Gusto niya lagi kami nag-aayos na at the end of the day. So, hanggat maaari, dapat ayusin, forgive each other, and understand each other, and keep the, ano ba, keep the fire burning in a way na parang dapat lagi, parang alam mo brand new yung pagmamahal sa isa't isa. Parang feeling na first day of relationship dapat. Yun. Saka sabi ng kuya ko, isa sa paano kayo magtatanggal is communication. Maging open ka sa nararamdaman mo sa kanya, listen to him or her carefully. Lagi mo ipaparamdam sa kanya na nakikinig ka para mas ma-feel yung partner mo na mahal mo siya and ma-feel niya yung security na I have someone to lean on. Yun naman yun. Communication is the key. Ayun, communication is the key. Basta laging kasama si Lord. Sa communication, yan. Two-way communication, pero lagi center yung Panginoon. So, lagi dapat nasa center yung Panginoon. Yan. So, stay sweet, stay strong, and God bless you sa inyo pong relationship.
So, ayun thank you, Paul, sa pag-invite sa amin and to speak in front of our viewers at mga fellow sweethearts. And ayun lang, ang aking message is patuloy lang sa pagbibigay ng pagmamahal sa mga kapwa. And huwag niyo pong hayaan na lumipas yung araw na hindi niyo pinapanalangin yung mga mahal. Special someone. And ayun nga, nasabi na rin ng aking girlfriend na yung aking nais-share na talagang all you need is communication to work things out. Kasi once na nawala yung communication, napakahirap maayos ng mga bagay po. Once na mawala yung communication, ay mahirap isolve yung mga bagay na kaya naman palang isolve with normal na pag-usap, sincere.
Mm-hmm.
So, I pray na mas maging maganda pa itong program na to kasi talagang nakakatulong din pala na gandang share ng mga experiences, happy thoughts ng mga viewers natin araw na ito. So, thank you, and I pray that you are safe and let love win. Love wins.
But with God's love, no?
With God's
love each other with the love of the Lord. You know? Yeah.
That's right.
Thank you very much, Engineer JM and Sis Ajah, for giving out this timely advice to our fellow sweethearts. And of course, the part 2 of the continuation of this story will continue right after the feast at home better together, which is up next. And of course, I would like to apologize for these technical issues or post-production issues that we have been experiencing. And of course, Better Together special entitled Relation Shift Reborn, wherein life is all about relationships. As we wrap up our Feb EB series, don't forget to join with us here, not only on office, at home, and of course, we would like to simulcast here both on the StreamYard version and the purely live version. So see you later, guys, at around 2040 or so, or right after the episode have concluded for the Better Together. This is Vinyo Durable, and see you later.